Right.
Yeah.
First things first, Fred Hoiberg fired from the Chicago Bulls, and I'm going to fall back and allow the Bulls fanatic to speak on that topic.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
So I got to preface this by saying that I am not a Fred Hoiberg lover. I'm not a Fred Hoiberg hater, but I think that he was not given the necessary tools to be successful.
Okay.
I'm going to take y'all a step back to when he was hired.
Okay.
They said the new thing was going to be what?
Pace and space.
Exactly.
Like Iowa State.
Like Iowa State. That's why they drafted him. He was going to be the coach of the future.
Hired him.
Hired him.
He said drafted.
That's why they hired him. He's going to be the coach of the future. They saw where the NBA was going. A three-point shot, fast pace is really like that. And right now, we're living in that. The pace is higher than almost ever. But then the first year, we underperformed. Last year with Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, don't like his head coach. Okay, we missed the playoffs. Year number 2, they're like, Fred Hoiberg, man, we're going to give you that team that you've been wishing for. And then we signed Dwayne Wade, Rajon Rondo.
No spacing at all.
Really against everything that he's for, they represent the exact opposite.
And get with Fred Hoiberg, you know, he tried to do the best that he can, still button heads with Jimmy Butler. And then they're like, you know what? Full rebuild.
But we have to give him credit right there. Because as we just mentioned, pace and space was his thing at Iowa State, which is why they brought him in, correct? Right. So then they bring in 2 guys who go against that.
Right.
And what does he still do?
And they make
the playoffs. And
but
before Rondo got hurt, they were running away with the series. Okay, so now
they like, Jimmy Butler, I'm sorry, we're gonna pick the head coach over you. And then we get 3 magnificent
Which I agree with. That was a good move.
Yeah, that was a good move.
They get 3 magnificent pieces. Chris Dunn, gritty, defensive point guard. Zach LaVine, who's right now playing at an all-star level. And then Lauri Markkanen, after rookie year, they say he put on 15 more pounds of muscle, and he's just getting back. So we hit the rebuild. And now we finally getting a little bit of players that fit his rotation.
With youth.
And then you cut him off the year after.
He get 1 game with Larry back.
That's the thing. Chris Dunn, 1 game this season. Bobby Portis missed 12 games this season. And then Laurie missed the first 22.
Denzel Valentine.
Denzel Valentine hasn't played a second. And he gets fired. I think the timing is weird.
Yeah.
I just feel like they set him up. They set him up. Jim Boylen obviously was the coach that they really wanted at this point. They said, we're going to give you the head coaching job, Jim, as soon as Laurie comes back and Bobby Portis and Chris Dunn are finally practicing with contact. They said, Fred, you're the pass, and now it's the gym time. I just think it comes from the very top.
Which is something that has consistently happened throughout their tenure. Jim Boylen.
I'm excited for it, though. I can say I'm excited for it.
The Chicago Bulls are the
I'm
laughing.
Slightly close my laptop for this and just enjoy the show. Unless y'all say something stupid, because I seen Bulls fans talking stupid all yesterday, but hey, go ahead.
We are the laughing stock of the NBA.
I agree.
And it's not because of our roster, because we've put together a pretty decently promising roster. It's everything else. So last week they fired Fred Hoiberg, which we talked about in New York City. So that's when Jim Boylen stepped up. Not just the interim coach, he is the head coach, which means that he's here to stay not just the rest of this season, but probably for next season. But maybe not after what just happened. So his tenure started last Monday, which was followed by a game on Tuesday, which we missed because we were on the plane. But whatever, they lost. Then he held a full practice on Wednesday, consisting of 2.5 hours full of sprints. Then after that, another practice on Thursday, a game on Friday, which we won against OKC, one of the best wins of the season for the Bulls, considering there has not been many. And then we get blown out by the most in franchise history, close to the biggest blowout in league history. And after that, it's not enough. Because usually in the NBA, when you get 2 back-to-back games, the game after that, the day after that, is a rest day. You just played your heart out for 2 games. Jim Boylen, it's like, nah, we got another long practice schedule. Another long practice. And he did something in that game that was almost unprecedented. There's only been one other coach to do that, where he pulled out the entire starting 5 together, which I don't blame him for. We were down 17-0. Those guys were not playing. But he never gave them another chance to really get into the game. And that's the reason why we lost by 57. It's because Shaq Harrison was there for almost 40 minutes.
He did that multiple occasions.
Twice.
Yeah, he did that twice. And then the second time is even worse. The first time I excused because 17-0, don't be on the court. But in the third quarter, it was 5-2. The Celtics outscored us 5-2, and that was enough for him to say, okay, you're out for the rest of the game. And his plan was, since y'all don't want to play today, I'm going to have y'all run tomorrow. You guys aren't conditioned. And he says that, and then I'll look up some stats. Zach LaVine is second in the league. Second in the league in miles per game. As far as running off screens, running back on defense, at 2.76 miles per game. Second in the NBA. But these guys, very unconditioned. All right. So that got to the point where the players are like, you know what? We don't really like what's going on. And let's just not show up to practice. He's been working us hard. There has been no off days since he took over this team. So let's not show up to practice. Then you got guys like Robin Lopez and Larry Market saying, you know what? No, we should show up to practice. But instead of practicing, let's hold a players only meeting. And in this meeting, they reported Jim Boylen to the NBA PA, the Players Association, for this reason: practicing the day after a back-to-back, which is unadvised by the NBA. 3 2.5-hour practices in 1 week consisting of a lot of suicides. And suicides are the worst form of practice because it doesn't help you as a better basketball player. You get more condition, but you can also get more condition while doing basketball drills, working on some shots, not just running. Then, extra wind sprints and military-style push-ups. He had $80 million man Zach LaVine doing push-ups. And then the 5-man substitution early in the game to send a message. So I'm wearing you can't really see it, but I'm wearing a Fire Guard Packs shirt because I think this is where it starts. Right now, they are making our team the laughing stock of the NBA. Jim Boylen, sure, for what you want to say, you don't have to like your coach, which it seems like the players don't like him, but you have to respect them. You have to have your players respect their coach or nothing is going to get done.
What respect is earned, it's not just given.
Right.
He came in preaching his San Antonio days.
Right.
He thought that was going to give them the respect.
Right.
You're not Popovich. You can't.
Shout out to Zach LaVine for that line, by the way.
Respect you just because of where you came from.
I agree with that 100%. You have to earn it. You can't just come in and be this dictator, Jim Boylen. So right now we are the laughing stock in the league. I'm going to forever be a Bulls fan, but they make it hard sometimes. I love the players. I love our squad. More big shots. All of this to say that the Bulls won in 4 overtimes, and I saw some fans kind of upset because if you didn't know, right now the Bulls and the Hawks are kind of in this little race for basically the 4th best odds at the 1st overall pick. This year, the 4th worst team gets an 11.5% chance, and the 5th best team gets a 10.5%. So they're battling for this little 1%. But in this win, and in the wins that the Bulls have been tallying up, I keep seeing people say, why are they winning? We need to be tanking, right? And if you ask me, the Bulls are still tanking because we still only have, 17 wins on the season.
That's a lot.
But often I see the things that bother me the most is people saying something like, you can't build a good team or a great team if you have the 7th overall pick every year. And that is bullshit. Yeah. Turned out to be great. But I understand bottoming out for Zion, but only one team can have Zion. And the highest chance you get to have Zion is 14.5. But I understand the idea of wanting him. But realistically speaking, there's a 3% chance, 3% difference between where we're at and being the worst team in the league, right? Mm-hmm. But people saying you can't build a good team with the 7th overall pick every year is ridiculous. What are 2 of the top teams in the league right now that are surprising the league that weren't projected to be as good as they are this year? We talk about the Bucks
and the Nuggets.
And the Nuggets. So the Bucks, listen to who they drafted and where they drafted them. Giannis, one of the greatest players we have in this league, 15th. Mini LeBron, who went off last night. Eric Bledsoe, 18th. So Malcolm Brogdon, 36. They traded for Chris Middleton, who was 39th. And the only top 10 player on their team that's actually contributing is Brook Lopez, and he was 10th. Jokic, superstar in his league, 41st. Jamal Murray, 7th. Mm-hmm. Gary Harris, 19th. Will Barton, 40th, but of course they didn't draft Will Barton. And then Monte Morris at 51. All high contributing players on their team with only one of them being a lottery pick, right? What it takes is a competent GM that can build a team with drafting where they are and making the right trades. All of this to say that I would much rather see my team go out and be competitive and get a little bit of that winning thing into their veins rather than them bottoming out and being terrible. But small Bulls rant. Fire Garpax. The players don't like Jim Boylen. The fans don't like Jim Boylen, but Jim Boylen gets a raise.
I don't like Jim Boylen. Manny Machado, who's coming to the White Sox, don't like Jim Boylen either.
And it just doesn't make sense. It's like they don't
just
understand.
got that like substitute teacher feel. To
Yep.
And that's exactly what he should be, a substitute coach, but they got him long term.
Yeah, the Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls, man. How much time y'all want to spend on this mighty Bulls team? Because we could spend the whole episode of the
I like this Bulls team.
So they're projected to win 38 games, which puts them at a 55% chance of making the playoffs.
I thought they would have at least like 35 plus wins, so that's around that area. They have a very solid team.
It's really just on their health. Let's talk about the Bulls.
I loved the Satoransky. Oh my gosh.
It made me sick to my stomach. He said, the Bulls have some intriguing talent. Zach LaVine, Larry Marketing, Kobe White, Otto Porter, Carter, and now Young. But it's hard to feel good about a team that won't be any better than the 7th seed. If we end up being the 7th seed, you feel me? That's a good season.
Who is
our
that?
Our starting lineup is 22 years old, average. If we end up being a 7th seed, we should be ecstatic about that. There was nothing we could have done this season to make us championship contenders.
Right. Talent.
Exactly. And guess who was named the captain on his last team? Thaddeus Young was. And guess who we brought in? Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young, they said he gets the most credit to keeping Victor Oladipo's head up after the trade and after his injury. That's the type of leadership we need on our team.
Yeah, I do.
Because what happened last year? There was no leadership at all. And even if Thaddeus Young is coming off our bench, he can be our leader.
Yep.
W's. The leadership committee for the Chicago Bulls exists, and Thaddeus Young is about to be the damn president.
Zach hit the three.
Yeah, we went up 8 late in the fourth.
Two of our wins, two of our losses, our team just goes cold for the last 3 minutes and we lose. The first one against the Charlotte Hornets and now the Knicks.
I was like, golly. Now we got Zach LaVine and Larry trying to close this
I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Bulls fans, I want to let y'all know that this is not the end of the game. It's cold in Chicago, but the sun is out. It's rain. Bought this shirt 5 years ago. And the campaign, the billboards, all of it, finally paying off. About all of that, but let's get to some quick news first. Yesterday was a big day for two bad teams. The first one being the Chicago Bulls, and the second one being the Sacramento Kings. Let's start off with the Bulls, because that was the one that happened first. 8 a.m. My phone is beeping off uncontrollably, and the notification comes out that the Bulls fired Jim Boylen. Derek, let's tackle the biggest one. The reason you are wearing that jersey, Nikola Vucevic gets traded from the Orlando Magic to the Chicago Bulls, 2 first-round picks, top 4 protected, Wendell Carter and Otto Porter Jr. I'm very interested. I'm very excited. Like I was telling people, this is the most excited I've been as a Bulls fan since Derrick Rose was still like healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like we've never had a front office make a move. Like every trade deadline thing that the Bulls have done since the beginning of the time, with Garpax and Foreman, whatever. New front office, man. Just came in and made some things happen. I'm excited. What was the biggest thing about Devin Booker the first 4 years of his career? Empty stats, right? He's the ultimate empty stats guy. He could give you 26 points per game, but the team is winning 20 games. I'm seeing people fall into the same trap with Zach LaVine. How many times are we going to see a young player that can get fucking baskets, be on bad teams, and we still count it as empty stats? The Bulls made a big trade to get Nick Vucevic, but the team is very far from good. We are far from a good team at the moment. The Nick Vucevic trade wasn't just, hey, let's go get to playoffs this year. Yes, that is the goal, but we also made the trade for the year after that, then the year after that when Nick Vucevic's contract is still good. I just don't want people to keep going down this empty stats thing, because Zach LaVine's going to prove it wrong again, just like every other empty stats guy ends up doing when the front office puts a competent team around him. That's it. What's the word, y'all? Come on, man. You know the vibes, bro. You know, I'm just the average Chicago Bulls fan. Yesterday, we picked up Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso. DeMar DeRozan is a Chicago Bull. That is so wild to say. Starting lineup is Lonzo, Zach LaVine, DeMar, Patrick Williams, and Vucevic.
Bro, this is as insane or as happy as I've been as a Bulls fan since Derrick Rose rose his trophy. That is no exaggeration.
Here comes Finney-Smith. Oh, Caruso's in the passing lane. Hit the deck and stole it.
Caruso's everywhere. There's 5 Caruso.
Ball to Levine. Showtime!
Oh, 360. Didn't make
Feeds DeRozan. DeRozan. Pump fake for the win. Got it again!
Also got to call that too.
Agreed.
Nice crossover. Caruso! Welcome to the Caruso Show.
18 made buckets, and Io's got a block of Joseph. And then